Okay guys, this is really starting to come together now. We're just about ready to put this on our device and play with it in the real world for a second. Now before we do that though, we need to add a couple of things just temporarily to make sure that we can actually exit out of the app if we need to. I'm going to add a quit button at the top here. So if we go to the canvas, right click and create a UI button. There we go. I'm just going to click and hold Shift and Alt to place it at the top of the screen. Make it a bit bigger so we can actually hit the button. There we go. It can still say button for me for now. I don't really mind. We're going to delete it afterwards. But what I do want to do is make it so that when we press this button, it will quit out of the game so that you don't end up with any problems while you're doing the testing period. So let's use the Raycast script initially. And just, here we go, let's just put it down at the bottom down here. We'll make a public void, just called quit. And all this will do is application.quit. There we go. And what this will do is by default just quit out of the application or make it run in the background if you're using an iPhone, for example. I mean, later on we'll have another version of this on the game controller script, which comes later on. But for now, let's click on the button, scroll down the list, and on the onClick event, I want you to click the plus sign, go to the Raycast game object and drag that in, and then in the bar, just come down to the Raycast controller and select the quit, so that when we press the button, it will call that function and save the scene. Now, the other thing, to have a little bit of fun, what I want you to do is go to the Raycast, and can you remember when we added the clips up here? Well, I want you to place a number 2 in the box as we're going to drag in to audio clips. Now, what I want to happen is every time you hit the bird, I want to play kind of like a thud sound, which is from the original. And also, just to torment us a little bit, every time the bird hits the target and changes direction, it's going to quack at us just to wind us up. So let's go into the sounds folder, into the NES folder, and let's find a thud. Nope. No. There we go. It's number 6. And then the duck quacking, I think, is number 4. Yep, that's the right one. Okay, so number 4 and number 6 are what we want. So go to the Raycast, and the first clip can be the duck, number 4. And then the thud can be number 6, and save that. Now in the Raycast script, I want to make the thud happen, which is the second one in the list, which is the first one if you're counting from 0, when we actually hit the bird. So we have this function up here called play sound. So let's play sound number 1, which is slot 2. And then if we go across to the target collider, every time we change position, I want to call the Raycast controller instance and play the sound in slot 0, which is a duck quacking. Now what's going to happen is every time the duck hits the target, the duck will torment us and tease us and quack away. If we manage to shoot the duck, the audio source on the gun will fire the gunshot, and the audio source on the Raycast, if I put one, yeah, I've definitely put one, just double checking, will play the thud sound. So let's see how this works out. Here we go. Oh, by the way, the quit button does not work in the editor. So here we go. And see if I can get... There's the gunshot. Can I hear the quack? No, there's no quacking. 1 second, here we go. So, on the Raycast, let's not play in awake, not bypass effects for some reason. And let's try one more time. Okay, so here comes the image target into scene. And, ooh, we have an error. Let's have a look what's wrong. Raycast controller, let's double click. There's a problem with the sound. Okay, well, we create an audio source, we get the clips, we have a play sound function that plays the audio. 1 second, guys, sorry about this. If I move the start function above, I've forgotten, if we look at the gun script, look, in the start function, we actually have to get the component and assign it to the audio before it can play. And I've missed that here. So I'll hold my hands up, guys, and leave the mistake in the video just to show you if you're running into problems, it's common. Everybody makes mistakes. Okay, so here comes the image target, and every time it changes direction, it's quacking away at us. Okay, that should be annoying enough to want to shoot it. Okay, so I think we're pretty much ready now to do our first real kind of field test run and get this on our mobile device. Now, if you're new to Udemy, if you move your mouse across to the left-hand side or tap the screen if you're on a mobile phone and hit the menu button in the corner of the 3 lines, that will bring in a side panel. And what I've done to this video is link to a web page that will show you how to put your Android phone into debugging mode, which is what we need to actually load this onto a phone. Okay, so what I want you to do is bring the side panel in, follow the link, and depending on what version of Android you have, set your mobile phone up to be in debugging mode. Then you're going to need a USB cable to connect your phone to the computer. So just grab the charger cable, plug that into the USB slot of the computer, and then come back and unpause the video. So pause the video now and come back in a second and we'll start the build. Okay, so I have my Android phone, it's actually a Samsung S6 that I'm using today, plugged in via USB. What I want you to do is come up into File and Build Settings, okay? Make sure you're on the Android platform. If you're not, click it once and switch platform. Then we're going to do a development build, so I just tick this button here and then open up the player settings. Now, that will open up a side menu where the inspector is, and the company name, just give it your name or your company. I'm just going to use AR Gamer for now, and then the product name can remain as Duck Hunt AR. Now in the settings we have these different tabbed menus, and on mine the publishing settings tab's open. Yours may have resolution expanded. So we'll go into resolution. Now it only really works on landscape left when you're messing around with Vuforia. If you've actually designed the game in landscape, obviously it could be in portrait if you're doing an application and want to use Vuforia for something in a portrait manner. But the game seems to work on landscape, and the way that we've set the image target up, landscape left will display everything in the right place. Landscape right, you would need to rotate the image target 180 on the scene. So once that's done, I want you to come down. You can add an icon if you want to. It gives you the sizes here. I'm not going to bother, it'll just give me the Unity logo on my phone. And inside the other settings, what you need to do is change the package name. So where it says company, just write in the company name, and then come across to where it says product name. If I just expand this, and I'll just call it Duck Hunt. Pretty much everything else can remain the same in this particular menu. Scroll down and just go to XR settings. Make sure Vuforia is enabled, and in publishing settings we're just going to use an unsigned version, and then you just simply hit build and run, provided both scenes are in the game in the correct order. Well, in fact, in this particular case I haven't put a button on the intro, so I'm going to drag the main scene above, so that's the default one that temporarily loads, and then you hit build and run, and this will ask us where we want to save our Android file. Well, I'm just going to save it in the same location that all the rest of my files are saved. And now what this will do is connect to any device that is in debugging mode on this computer. It will then compress all the scenes, all the assets, and it will build it into something called an Android APK file. Oh, we seem to have a mini error, and it says that Vuforia is not compatible. The new version of Vuforia. I need to change the settings. If I can quit out of this. Nope. Demo gods are against me today, guys. I'm going to have to force this to quit. Oh, no, I'm not. It did it just before. So what is happening now? There we go. Okay, so it didn't work. Basically, I got an error message saying that the new version of Vuforia, which I forgot to do in the player settings, what we need to do is I need to change the settings so that the target device is for ARM7, which is the computer chip inside a mobile phone. So in other settings, let's go to here, and device filter choose ARMv7. Okay, so now that's done, we shouldn't have another problem. I'll try one more time, build and run. Here we go, checking for devices, my mobile phone's plugged in. I like to keep things like this in the video so that if you guys come across something like this, rather than cut it out and make it look like I've done everything perfectly all the way through, then you'll know how to address the issue. It seems to be working okay now, guys. I do have another little message to do with it not supporting Android TV, but I don't think it's going to cause the build to actually fail. Okay, so back to where we were supposed to be. What this is doing is it's compressing all the files and pushing it to my mobile phone, and it should appear just in the actual menu, just in the normal app menu on the device. And because I press build and run, then it will automatically open, which it has done on my device. So if I hold my phone over the image, there we go. I mean, you guys can't see this, but you can hear it. And it's much easier on the mobile phone than it was. There we go. On the laptop when I was holding up the image. There's 3 in a row, perfect. And the quit button works as well. Okay, guys. So after a minor glitch, switch it to ARMv7 if you're on the same kind of setup that I have, or just try and troubleshoot and address anything that Vuforia's new bundle may throw at you in between. It will just be a setting, it won't be anything major, and push this to your device. Okay, so have fun, put it on your mobile phone, and if you have the ability on your phone, why not make a screen recording and record the video and then post a link to it in the Q&A section of the course. I'd love to see what your world looks like in comparison to mine. Probably a hell of a lot better, to be honest. Okay, so have fun, and when you're ready and you've had a bit of a play, come back and we'll continue doing this for iOS, and then we'll proceed into the game controller. Okay, fantastic. I'll see you in the next video, guys.